Hello and welcome everybody to our wedding week boot camp. My name is Chance Ghanem and I have Samantha Grothheim here with me as well. Guys, this is the week where we are getting married. Over the course of the next 7 days, we are going to be putting out an intense boot camp that's going to take you guys through the journey of a Forex trader, teaching you skills, tips, tricks, and different strategies that are going to allow you to really elevate your trading game. Because of Wi-Fi issues and because of all the traveling we're going to be doing, we will not be able to be running IML TV on a consistent basis. So we are using these videos as a substitute to what we're doing on IML TV. So these videos will be dropped on our Pip Talk every single day. So make sure you guys are on our Pip Talk channel. We'll also be dropping this in the chat box on IML TV. For those people who hop on during IML TV time, they will have this as well. Guys, we're extremely excited to do this because a lot of times running IML TV, we're the type of people who we love answering questions. We love keeping it fresh. But with doing that and with always going in on questions and allowing you guys as the audience and the students to kind of dictate how our calls go, we aren't always in a position to really focus in and give you guys the exact tips, detail, strategy, and mindset that we want consistently. So what we're going to do and take advantage of over these next 7 days of dropping videos is we are going to use this call. Me and Sam are going to run it together, but the next ones are going to be either me going in for 30 to 45 minutes straight on one topic, or Sam doing the same exact thing for other topics. I'm extremely excited because I know this piece of content, this boot camp that you guys are about to experience and you guys are about to go through is going to make a tremendous change in your trading future as long as you implement what you learn. So make sure after every single video, you take really good notes. Maybe watch it twice. And on top of that, make sure you implement every single thing we teach. It's 100% pointless for you to put in all the time and effort to go through this boot camp if you're never going to implement what we teach. So please, 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 from the bottom of my heart, I want you guys to really, really focus in and pay attention to what we're going over in this boot camp. Now, guys, with that being said, we are excited to get this training started, but as we always do on IML TV, we're not going to do this on every single training. So this is the only training where we are going to cover our story, but we're going to start with our story just for the new people on this call who have not seen us before, have not been exposed to our channel. We want you to understand who we are, why you should learn from us, and then we're going to teach you guys a lot of good information today about the mind and how you need to get your mind right to become a full-time professional Forex trader. A lot of people just think it's the chart markups, but it's really the mindset that takes people to the next level in trading. So that's what we're going to help you with today. We're going to cover some very, very interesting topics. But before we get to that, I want to break down our story. So like I said in the beginning, my name is Chance Ghanem, and I have Samantha Groth right here next to me. And I'm extremely blessed that we actually met each other in high school in small town, middle of nowhere, Illinois. Now, guys, if you look at this top left picture, this is our prom picture from 2014. And guys, we put this there not just because, you know, the white tux is looking good, we got the nice shades on, but on the flip side of that, we put this on here so you guys can look in the background. So you guys can see that it's literally middle of nowhere, Illinois. Now, you see right here, this building is a shed. That's where we keep our lawnmowers and stuff. And besides that, wide open cornfields. The nearest town is about 3 to 5 miles away, and it's Mazan, Illinois. Less than 1,000 people in this small town. Now, guys, we come from a very small town background, which we realized isn't quite normal as we started to meet a lot of new people. But the one thing that we noticed was exactly the same: is majority of people were learning the same thing and following the same system as a young adult. And what that looked like for us was going to high school to get your piece of paper, your diploma, so that you could use that diploma to get you into college, go to college, get another piece of paper, exchange that for a job, and then you're going to have this magical job where you're going to make great money and live your dream life, and then retire at 65, and you're going to just go travel or live the best life ever. So, essentially that's what me and Sam believed, and that's what me and Sam were implementing. We graduated high school. We went to a small town community college where we studied agriculture or farming because that's the only industry around us where we are guaranteed a high paying job. We're going to be making good money, and it was all going to be great. But while we were going to college, I was working as a fry cook, making $8 an hour at a small town bar and grill. Sam was working as a Walmart cashier, making the same low wages. And we started to see people graduate from our program. And those people who were graduating weren't getting the high paying jobs. Some weren't even getting jobs at all. And they were struggling. I was working with a guy while I was working at the Sandlot. That's the bar and grill that I used to work at. And he was a bartender who had a 4-year degree and couldn't get a job with his degree. And it's crazy because as we started to see this and as it started to unfold in front of us, we started to realize that, hey, maybe this isn't right for us. And it's one of those things that I do like to mention, that that system was put in place pre-internet. And I truly believe that the internet changed the game. So once we started to see people making money online, we started to see the rise of the Instagram people and everyone, the money-making generation that was starting to come up on the internet. Me and Sam got excited and we started to do our research. And long story short, that research led us to iMarkets Live. Now, guys, December 2015, we were introduced to IML. When we were introduced to IML, I was blown away because I saw a $5.3 trillion a day market that I could get my hands on as a normal average person. And that excited me because I knew if I could just learn a skill that could change my life, I would put in all the time, energy, and effort I could. And that's what me and Sam did. December 2015, we joined IML and we got started. We put in all the work right here. Now, when we got started, we were still living at my parents' house. And this is literally my childhood bedroom where we grinded it out. 2015 to 2017 is the time we're in there. But November 2016, a big thing happened for us. And in November 2016, we were able to become full-time Forex traders. And we always like to add this part in there so that you understand. When I say full-time Forex trader, I mean that we were still living with mom and dad. Our monthly bills were maybe $500 a month. And we are making just enough money from Forex that we could put all our time and energy into it. And we didn't have to go to our crappy jobs as a fry cook and a Walmart cashier. So in November 2016, we quit our jobs. We went full-time in Forex. Then a little later in 2017, we finally had enough money to move out of mom's house. Now, I'll tell you what, if you're like us at the time, we were 20 and 21 years old. We were so excited to finally get out of mom's house. And when we started to look, because we were making this internet money, we could literally live anywhere in the country we wanted. And we started to look at all these different places, started to dream, started to talk, and then we couldn't really decide. And I had a crazy idea one day that I came to Sam and I was like, yo, Sam, what if instead of moving to one place, we just lived out of Airbnbs and hopped to a new city and state every single month? And after a little bit of convincing, I got the yes. And it was amazing because we spent 12 months living in a new state every single month, everywhere from Florida to California, and just were trading and traveling. It was such an amazing blessing. You guys can see pictures here. We are in Venice Beach, California. Here we are out in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And guys, I'm telling you what, we had the time of our lives. And we even laughed sometimes because at that time, we were part-time traders and full-time tourists. We were trading 3 hours a day, making just enough money that we could go travel, go hike, go do whatever we wanted all day long. And then we just did it over and over and over again for a year. But then we had an amazing opportunity come along, which is why we're on here, and a lot of other things we've been able to do over the past couple months. But the big change in our life was moving out to Miami. We had the opportunity to move out to Miami for good. And guys, I'll tell you what, we moved into the dream apartment, 41st floor luxury apartment on the ocean in Hallandale Beach, which is just a little north in Miami. And guys, I'll tell you what, it's literally the dream spot that we've always wanted. And now we're not just part-time traders, full-time tourists. Now we're full-time traders, part-time educators. We spend our free time teaching you guys. We had the opportunity to get on here on IML TV and teach on a daily basis. On top of that, we are on the Swipe Trades team, and we are here to, give you guys as many trade setups as possible. And that's why we became full-time traders. Now we're putting 6 to 8 hours a day on the charts, really grinding in at it, and really upping our level as traders. And that's something I want you guys to just realize and hear this story. And even if you've heard this before, or if this is your first time hearing our story, I want you to know that every single thing I just said is true. We have pictures here. You can always check our Facebooks, Instagrams, all that stuff to see it. But I want you guys to realize we tell you this because I'm still that small town, middle of nowhere country kid. The only difference is I changed my mindset. I changed my thinking, and I changed my skill set, and I was able to change my life. And I want you to understand that when you learn this skill set, when you put in the time, energy, and effort to learn Forex, it's worth it. But don't be caught up in the short-term money. That's the biggest thing I want you guys to understand. I want you guys to think about in this game, because so many of us as Forex traders get caught up in the short-term money. We're worried about the $50 days. We're worried about making our $50 turn into $100, but we're not worried about the long-term goals. And guys, here's what I want you to see, and this is where we want to go to really start this mindset, is really the simple graph. This is the exponential growth graph, right? The exponential growth line. Now, if you guys know what this is, essentially this is how the compound effect works. And I want you guys to realize this because this is the most important thing you need to know as a Forex trader if you're really here for the long run and if you're really here to make the big money. All right, so focus up. I know if you guys were napping, if you guys were like, oh, Chance, I heard your story before. Now I need you to focus up because we're about to talk about that real money. And this is where we're going to change your mindset right from the get, where you're not going to be here for the $5 days. You're going to be here for the $500 days, the $1,000 days, the $10,000 days, the next 5 to 10 years, because this is a long-term game. And guys, when you play this game long-term, you can win at a crazy, massive level. But I want you to understand how this works. So if you've ever heard of the analogy, or however you call it, of the penny double, where somebody will say, okay, if I were to give you an opportunity to give you a penny doubled every single day for a month, or if I were in a position to give you $1 million today, which one would you choose? Majority of people not thinking are going to say, hey, I'm going to take that $1 million. I'm going to take that $1 million up front, put it in the bank, and let that thing go to work for me. But on the real side of that, you would make over $4 million, right? 4 million, Sam? Almost, I think it's 4.8 million roughly dollars if you would have done the penny doubled every single day for a month. Now, I want you guys to realize that because you would make so much more money in the long term, because what? Because what? You waited, you stayed patient, and you played the long-term game and allowed the compound effect to work in your favor. Now, when we're talking compound effect, I'm going to be giving you guys at the end of this, we'll put in the description of the YouTube video, the link for the growth calculator. So the growth calculator is something where you guys can get it on our Facebook Messenger list, but the growth calculator will allow you to see the long-term potential in the Forex markets. But I'm not really talking about actual numbers right here. I'm going to talk about your mindset and how you guys are going to get out of this flat part. Because I want to tell you guys right now, this flat part right here, from here to here, this flat part, that's what we call the burnout zone. That is the burnout zone. This is where all the traders fail. This is where all the traders quit, because at the burnout zone, this is where you're not making money. And the difference is between traders is sometimes the burnout zone could be a week, sometimes, well, it's never really a week, more like, I would say 6 months, more like a year, more like a year and a half, 2 years, could be this flat part, could be this burnout zone. And I want you to realize why. Because when we're talking about the compound effect, you need to leave your money in your account and allow it to grow. Because how we make money in Forex is off of percentage. A lot of people want to talk pips. A lot of people want to talk about that stuff, but I don't care about pips, guys. I care about percentage, because percentage compounds. Pips stay the same. You need to know the percentage to actually compound that. So let's say we were able to make what our goal for most new traders, or all our new traders, is 10% a week. 10% a week is a solid goal, whereas a new Forex trader, that should really be your first target. If you can go out there and hit 10% a week, you're going to be in an amazing, amazing position. So when we're thinking 10% a week, if we have $100 and we make 10% a week, we're going to make $10 that week. But if we have $1,000, we're going to make $100 that week. And if we have $100,000, we're going to make $10,000 that week. Now, I want you guys to realize that the goal of this is to make $100 turn into 110. And then that 110 will turn into 122. And that 122 will turn into 144. And it'll just keep going and going and going and going and going. And you're going to keep growing that account till that 100 turns into 500. That 500 turns into 5,000. And you're going to keep going and going and going. But here's where that doesn't happen. Here's where a lot of new traders, me and Sam included, make a mistake. This is the part where everybody makes this money and they want to go spend it. Everybody is in this curve part, right? So let's say, right here we make $2, we make $5, we make $10, and then fast forward all the way down here, we just had our first $100 day. And guess what? For our first $100 day, we want to reward ourselves. You know what? I saw a pair of Gucci slides on eBay. For $100, I could grab them slides. So I'm gonna cop them slides. I'm gonna go buy those sandals for $100, some designer sandals, right? And then what really happens, and a lot of people think, okay, I bought the sandals. Now let's keep going. We're almost to the growth curve. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. But the problem is when you withdraw your profits, you go back and you go back and you go back. And what a lot of people do is, let's say they take $100. Let's say they take $100 right here. And now that $100 a few months later is $1,000. Now they finally hit $1,000 on that account. They're amazing. They're excited. They withdraw $500. Once you withdraw $500, instead of being right here, now you're right back here. And you got to do this all over again. And this is why people get stuck in the burnout phase. And I want to tell you what, it's also extremely dangerous once you get over here, because it depends on the kind of money you want to make. If you are a type of trader where you are here just to make a little extra money on the side, or maybe a great investment instead of putting your money in a 401k or whatever, and you want to take the family on a vacation, you want to do something like that, amazing. Once you get to this curve part, and I'm talking you're making $500 to $1,000 or so in that range of and it changes for everybody, but around that range of daily, that's where I would say this is. I would say if you're in that $500 to $1,000 a day range, you're killing it. You're right here. But up here is where we dream about. Up here is where we're making six-figure days. And guys, the six-figure days, that might take 50 years. I don't know. I'm not there yet. But I want you to realize it's the mindset that I've taken from my mentors and from the people who I've learned from personally, is once you start to get to this spot right here, a lot of people start to get cocky. And a lot of people start to get full of themselves and their income. And this is something I want to tell you, because this is where ego takes over. And when ego takes over in your real life, it's going to represent the same in the charts. That's something that's personally affected me, and me and Sam have both had to deal with through our journey. It happens to every single trader on their come up, because I'll tell you what, guys, I've never seen somebody make money as fast as I've seen people make it in Forex. The good part about that is we got people making money. The bad part about that is people don't know what to do with this money, or they don't know how to keep that money long term, and they end up blowing it. So what I want you guys to realize is, even when you're right here, every time you make a decision to withdraw, you pull back, you pull back, and you pull back. So what? Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, Chance, what's good? Why am I here if I'm not going to make any money? If I can't withdraw it, if I can't touch it, if I can't feel it, I need to feel that money. Guys, here's what I suggest. I suggest you get your account. So let's say you're going at that rate, right? Let's say you're going at a rate where you had your $100 account and now it's $1,000 account right here. The way smarter thing to do, much smarter thing to do that I suggest is, instead of withdrawing at your $1,000 and taking out $500, you should take that $1,000 and split it into two $500 accounts. Maybe for you, this is a $10,000 account and you're splitting into two $5,000 accounts. You need to do the math. If you're getting 10% a week, if you're getting 5% a week, if you're getting 25% a week consistently over the course of 6-8 weeks, before you make any serious moves, you need to do the math for what's right for you. But let's just say for easy numbers, let's say your goal was $10,000. You got right here. I would say 10,000, man, you're right here. You're right at that cups. And instead of being like, okay, I don't want to buy nothing. I don't want to go waste this money because I earned it. I put in all this time. It took me, maybe it took you a year and a half to get this account to 10,000. What you should do is you should split it into two $5,000 accounts. That might take you back to here a little bit on your accounts, but here's what I want you to do. You need to have one account that is here for the long term. If you guys are here to make the crazy money, if you guys are here to be traders in the next 6, 10, 15 years, my suggestion to you is have an account that is your long-term account. And then have an account that is a short-term account that you are going to withdraw from on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, or maybe once a month you're going to withdraw from it. So then you'll have both needs met. Now you want to hear what I said there. I said in a year to year and a half. So this is a long-term process, and maybe your number's not 10,000. Maybe it's, maybe it's 500. Maybe it's 1,000. Maybe it's whatever is comfortable for you, where you want to start withdrawing and having some profits. But it's not that difficult to place two trades on two separate accounts. If you're using MT4 on the phone, you can do it within probably 30 seconds of switching back and forth and getting both trades placed. So I would strongly suggest that, just because I want to see you guys go out here and make the crazy wild money. But on the flip side of that, I also understand that you guys want to be full-time Forex traders, and you guys don't want to be working your jobs, or you want a little bit more time freedom or whatever, and you need to withdraw and you need to put some in your bank. So have the best of both worlds, split your accounts up, and realize mentally that you have one account that is here for the long game. You have one account that is here to make you the 6-figure weeks. It's here to make you the crazy wild money in the next 10, 15, 50 years. But you also have a smaller account, or actually half of an account that you're not looking to grow super long term. You're just on a weekly or monthly basis taking out 50%, 75%, or even 100% of your profit for that time period. So please take that moving forward. And I'm going to pass out. Do you have something to say, Jordan?
Yeah, one other thing I just want to say on this real quick is, when you are trying to go and become that full-time trader, I want to point out something that Chance said. He said pull out 50, maybe 75% of your profit, not of your account.
Yes.
That's super, super important, because you don't want to just drain the whole account, because that will set you backwards. However, if you just pull out maybe 50% of the profit, it won't set you back, because you actually still have made money on the account that month. So that's just one thing I wanted to point out.
100%. We've seen people who have had, I'm just using this as all examples, but let's just say somebody had $1,000 account. They took that account up to $5,000, and then they withdrew the whole 5,000. And then it's like, okay, well, now you got to come up with another $1,000 to do the same thing over again and do all that work over again and get back to the 5,000. What me and Sam are saying is, let's just say somebody had an amazing, let's say 3 months, 3, 6, 8, 12 months. I don't know. Either way, let's just say for this example, somebody just crushed it and they didn't withdraw from 1,000 to 5,000. What me and Sam are saying is, you would take 50% of your profits, meaning you would only withdraw $2,000 and you would still have $3,000 in the account. Yeah, that's just the mindset of what we're saying, so that you can still be growing that smaller account. And then also, you're not going to have, every single week's not going to be a winning week. I promise you that. Every single month's not going to be a winning month. And as a full-time Forex trader, you need to understand that. So you want to make sure that let's say last month you made 50% and you withdrew 50% of that 50%, meaning your account still grew 25%, where next month, if you took a hit and you lost 5% over the entire month, over those 2 months, you're still got that 20% growth on your account, where you have a little bit of wiggle room. So that's just some stuff I want you to think about going into this next part, because Sam's about to step in here and she's about to go in. What Sam's about to talk about is something that you need to understand to truly master the Forex markets, because if you don't get it, you will not be going in the right direction. The spiral effect is something that can take your life and your trading to the next level at a quick rate and take you to right where you want to be, or it could be something that spirals you out of control, causing you to lose money and essentially this be no fun. So please pay close attention because what Sam's about to go over is extremely, extremely important.
Absolutely, guys. And just like Chance said, the spiral works both ways. And that's what I really want you to keep in mind when you look at this. Now, this spiral, a couple things about it before I really go in and break this down. It is always going to move clockwise, guys. It will never move counterclockwise. This is the direction it goes all the time. Now, the direction that your actual spiral or how your life is going can go in the correct direction, or it can go in a bad direction that you do not want. Now, what this is, and I got this personally from Steve Greger, and he said at one point that there's a lot of different people who claim to have founded this. Tony Robbins is really who I've heard a lot of this from, so I just want to give credit where that is due as well. But this is how your brain physically works, guys. We like to talk about a lot about brain physiology and psychology. Those are two different things. And just because a lot of people don't necessarily give the psychology or the mindset portion of trading the respect and that it deserves, really, because we all are very, very worried about, okay, Sam, teach me how to draw a trend line, teach me how to draw a pitchfork, teach me how to mark up my charts. And that is important. Don't get me wrong. And in this boot camp, we will definitely go over a ton of that. But I want to start you guys off on the right foot with the mindset that comes along with this, because 90% of your success in Forex is based off of, do you have the mindset? Can you control your psychology? Can you control greed? Can you make sure that you have that clear head when you come to trade? That's really the super important part here. That is the 90%. So all of us, when we're born, start off with basically an amount of raw potential. I personally believe we're all born with the same amount of potential. But here's what happens. We're all raised differently. We're raised in different environments. We have different things happen to us. We have different human experiences, right? Some people don't have as great of a human experience as others, whether it be based on gender, race, who your parents are, what education you got. All these different factors, right, will really kind of mold your brain from a very, very young age, because when we're young, our brains are sponges, guys. We soak in everything that we see around us, and as we get older, we soak in less and less. It's why you hear the sayings of people that they're stuck in their ways. Well, their brain has basically developed to that point where they're less apt to try to soak in more information, because the human brain isn't fully developed until around the age of 25. So you're really kind of soaking information in for a very long time. And based on that information, the learned behavior, how your parents raised you, your education, the school system that you went through, all of that good stuff, the environment you grew up in, that will take you from potential to action over here. Because all that we can do in order to live our lives is go off of information that we know. It's the saying, you don't know what you don't know. You act upon what you've seen your entire life. You act upon what you have as values at your core, and what you think will and will not work based on how you were raised. It actually has a lot to do with this. Now, for those of you who are like me and go, well, that's scary. I wasn't exactly raised the way I necessarily wanted to be, so that's scary. Don't worry, I'll get to how you can reprogram this as well. You're not stuck in this, but I'll continue on here. And based on all those things, those factors that happen to you, you'll take different actions. I'm going to put this to a Forex perspective, right? I'll do this as joining IML. We all come in with the same amount of potential. We all have the exact same products, the exact same education, the exact same opportunity to make Forex work for us. Then we come over here. Do you get on IML TV every night? Do you take different trades from, say, the web analyzer, the crypto analyzer, Gold Cup? Do you go use those products? Do you get on IML TV at least an hour a day and further your education? Do you use the IML Academy as the library that I personally use it as? That's how I look at the Academy. I will go, and if I don't totally understand something, it's like going and checking a book out from the library. I want to understand this concept more. And based on those actions that you take, you will get results. Now, those results are dependent on a lot of different things, right? It's dependent on, have you done your personal development to develop your psychology so that you can come to the markets in a good place? Are you getting on IML TV and every night? Are you doing what you know you need to be doing to educate yourself so that you can do this successfully? Are you taking a volume of trades on your demo account, which just means, guys, we personally have the opinion demo accounts are not necessarily something you just want to hop on and win every trade you take on it, because you don't really learn when you win, you learn when you lose. So when you lose and you can go back and say, okay, I lost this trade because I didn't see this, this, and this. Well, then you can diagnose the problem that you had, and you'll lose less trades then, because you go and look at that and say, okay, I will not do that again. I should have saw that. Are you taking a volume of trades? Are you taking a ton of trades on your demo account so that you know, okay, this is what a good trade looks like, and this is what a bad trade looks like? Based on that, you will get those results. And based on your results, you'll have a belief or a certain attitude about what it is that you're doing. Now, this can go a couple of different ways, and I'm going to break this down for you. Let's say it's all going super well. You're trading, your demo account's going well. You go live, you start making some consistent small profits. Your belief in the fact that Forex works grows exponentially. You go, yes, Forex really is the best thing ever. This is how I'm going to change my life. This is how I'm going to be able to go do everything that I want to do in my life and for my family. This is awesome. And based off of that, you come back up here to potential. Well, now you're more educated. Now you know kind of what you're doing. You're having success. And based on that whole potential right there, you'll take more action. Now, this is the way we all want it to go, right? Which is where we always want to talk about this, because we'll look at this and go, yes, perfect. It's spiraling in the right direction. This is awesome. Everything is going right. But what if it's not? What if, and there's factors here. That's where this looks very simple on paper. But if you see this really kind of mapped out in a way, there's so much that affects every single one of these little boxes that look like they're pretty simple at face value. Okay, we're all born with the same potential. So we're just going to go back to IML here for a minute. We all have the same products, right? We come over here. We go, you know what? I have something going on. I'm not going to get on IML TV too much this week. I'll still trade my demo account. I'll still place some trades on that. It'll be fine. We come down to results, right? Based on the actions we took. And we start losing on our demo account. And we go, dang, okay, last week was a super good week and I can't win a trade this week. It's so bad. I just can't win. What in the world? And then you get into things like revenge trading. You get into things like you don't take the next couple trades that you would have won. I mean, how many of us have had this experience, right? You lose a trade, you get really mad, the next trade sets up, and you don't take it because you're like, well, I lost the last one, I'm not going to take this one, and then that one you didn't take wins. That's something that we'll break down probably some more this week for you guys as well during this wedding week boot camp, about why that is actually a terrible idea, because no trading strategy, no matter how good it is 100% accurate. So even if it's the perfect strategy, quote unquote, you're still going to lose some trades. But you start losing, right? And this is where our attitude kind of takes a nosedive, and our belief as well. Because kind of like I just alluded to right there, we'll go, I can't win a trade. What's the point? Shut the computer, walk away, right? We get really upset. And that's, if we shut the computer and walk away when we have that feeling, you're actually on the better spectrum. Because I know for a lot of us, when we start getting that feeling, we go, you know what, I'm going to trade myself out of a slump. I'm going to start placing a ton of different trades and just try to trade my way out of it. That doesn't work, guys. It's all about your mindset at that point, because if you're focused on all the trades that you're losing, you're only going to attract more losing trades. So that is where we come here. We start to go, oh, maybe this Forex thing doesn't work. What in the world? We come back here and we start to act like it doesn't work, right? Our potential has gone down because now we don't have the belief to push us forward. We take even less action. We get even worse results. And then our belief, and we just keep going around and around and around. Now, obviously, this is not the way we want to spiral. So the next question I want to address is, okay, I'm in a slump week, because we all have them. It's like Chance said earlier, you're never going to have a trading career where you don't have a losing week or losing month, guys. It happens. It happens. But how you deal with it is what is going to make or break you as a Forex trader. So let's say we come through here, and this is another thing that can happen as well. You're taking all the right actions, but you know what? Trading just isn't going well this week. That happens too. Just because you're losing doesn't necessarily mean you're not taking the right actions. It just means that Forex is on average a $5.3 trillion a day market, and none of us are going to be right all the time. And sometimes those spurts of not being right go in little waves. So how do you get out of this? What is the way that you can break this spiral even if your results aren't that great? Well, here it is. If your actions aren't there, if you're not doing that, obviously fix that. Start watching more IML TV. Go to your mentor. Talk to them about what's happening to you, because that is really the best way that you can kind of diagnose the problem, you know, because a lot of us, I can help a lot of people with, well, this, and this is happening. And a lot of times I can go, oh, it's because of this. This is why that's happening. Where when you're in the situation, you don't necessarily see it completely clearly because you're so close to the situation, you can't see the big picture. But let's just say, for example, in this, that you're doing everything right. You're getting on IML TV, you're educating yourself, whatever, but your trades just aren't great this week. Here's what I need you to do. And this is where trading is work from a psychological perspective, because you have to reprogram your brain a little bit. Even if your results are not good, so we'll say you've lost a couple trades this week, right? And this, again, is assuming that you guys are using proper risk management, which I will definitely talk about in a video here one of the days this week, because it just is so important. But let's just say for time's sake that you're using proper risk management. Any bad weeks with proper risk management should not hurt you that badly. I just want to start there. You should have a shut-off percentage a day of, if I lose this big of a percentage in my account per day, I'm done, I'm walking away, so I don't become an emotional trader. But again, with all those assumptions there, my results still aren't good. This week, let's just say this week I've been losing trades, right? Here's what this arrow needs to be in your brain. A lot of us look at our results and have a direct correlation to our belief of, if I'm winning, Forex works. If I'm losing, Forex doesn't work. And our attitude gets really bad. What I want you to do is, if your results are good and you're winning trades, go, awesome, this is going well. That's obviously the easy one. If your results are not good, if you're losing, you need to reprogram your brain to see your losing as an opportunity to learn to make yourself better. And I know that sounds so cheesy, and people kind of look at me a little funny when I say this, and they'll go, yeah, sure, Sam, okay, easy, yeah, I've been told that forever. Losing is just an opportunity to learn. Well, it is, because that keeps your attitude positive. You look at losing as an opportunity instead of something that's supposed to tear you down and make you feel really bad about yourself.
Now, make sure you guys hear that. Like, make sure, because Sam just said one of the most important parts, and she even mentioned how cliche it is and how most people just brush it off. So one of the big things I want you to know is that when you're talking about those results and you're really thinking about your results, as long as you think about them in a positive way, even if they're negative, the spiral still goes positive. I just wanted to reiterate that, because even how she said it, she's like, yeah, it's cliche, most people look over it. Guys, don't look over this. Because if you can keep your trade results positive, whether it's blue or red in the trading in your MT4, if in your head every single trade is positive, the spiral always will stay positive. Yeah. So just because your account is red doesn't mean it can't be positive and the spiral can't be positive. So please, 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 in your notes, circle that, underline it, highlight it, and remember to consciously do that every single day, because it's not easy. It wasn't like the first day.
No, it's a process. Yeah. That is not something you just go, you know what? Perfect. I learned it. We're good. That's not how that works. It's a process of you're literally programming your subconscious mind. Because I didn't say this earlier, but guys, little known fact to most of us, 98% of what you do every single day is subconscious, which means you don't think about it. The best traders, the two things, the best traders in the world, they trade subconsciously, which means they aren't staring at the chart, picking apart the trade, whatever, which I can say that because I'm 100% guilty of doing that sometimes. I'll sit there and pick apart trades. The best traders are basically robotic in the way that they trade. They say, okay, this is my confirmation checklist. This is what I'm going to look for every single time. And when they get it, they just take the trade. They don't think about it. Because when you're trading consciously, which is you only do 2% of things every single day consciously, which means you think about them. Like, I'm just going to give you a minute to let that sink in. 98% of your daily life habits, you don't control. It's subconscious.
Guys, we're back home right now, and for some reason for the wedding and stuff. But even coming back to my house after 3 months, I still subconsciously, when I close doors, like can lock them without even thinking about it, or flip lights on without even thinking about it, or like you do little things just because I've been in this environment so much. And my brain, even after 3 months of not being here, after not flipping the lights, not doing anything, can still do all that stuff without me even thinking about it.
Setting the alarm, all of it.
Yes, everything. So guys, like it's real. It's real, not just in trading, but in real life. But trading is real life, and you have to understand that. And again, we work every single day to reprogram our subconscious to get what we want.
And that's what I was going to go into next. You're not doomed because your subconscious is something that you don't want. Trust me, guys, 3 years ago, mine was too. And it's something that really the cure to a bad subconscious, and I'm not saying your brain's bad, but if you feel like you have bad habits that are ingrained, negative, that's the word I was looking for. Do personal development. That's not just for people here who build a business, guys. Personal development is arguably more important for traders than it is if you're building the business, because like I said earlier, 90% of your success in Forex comes from your psychology and whether you can control your brain or not. And that's why we go into this so much. That's why we started with this video. This isn't something we're just going to tack on at the end, because really there are a couple different things in the Forex market that if you don't understand them, anything else I teach you is completely pointless. One of them, psychology. The other one, risk management. If you don't understand those two things, any strategy I teach you will never work. It's just facts.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Guess what the next video will be?
The next one will be risk management and how to do our risk management strategy and all our rules and things like that. So that's what we're going to head into next. But I want you guys to really have the fundamental understanding of all of this from a psychological and physiological, I can't even say it right. You know what I mean? How the brain works. Perspective, because this is something that when you understand it, you can actually take control over it and do things to make it better. So with that being said, did you have anything else that you wanted to?
Guys, I just want to close out this video with saying thank you so much for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next videos. Make sure you're telling your teams about this. Make sure you're telling everybody you know in IML about this, because this boot camp is going to take you guys through a lot. And it's going to teach you, literally, we're pouring everything out of our heads onto these videos. And I want you guys to understand the importance of this, because on IML TV, we don't get the opportunity to give you guys a full overview of every single detail of what we're doing on a daily basis. Through this course, we're going to give you guys everything we got to make sure you understand what's going on in the markets, how we see the markets, why we're getting in, why we're getting out, the different tools we use, the different strategies we use, and every single thing that's in our head that really has allowed us to change our lives in the Forex market. So I want you guys to take advantage of this. Most people are like, oh, well, it's not a live room. But I'll be 100% honest, guys, the content in these videos is going to be a lot more powerful than our live rooms, because on our live rooms, there's a little bit of fluff. There's a little bit of reading questions. There's a little bit there's a little bit of talking to other people, and there's no problem with it. That's what I love about it. That is the community part of it. But the cool part about these videos that we're going to put together here are, this is the step-by-step. Here's what Chance and Sam think. Here's what Chance and Sam do. I want those results. Here's what I need to do. And that's what we're going to do through this presentation, through this boot camp. So please stay tuned. Every single day we'll be dropping a new video. If you guys want the video first, make sure you're in our Pip Talk chat. We'll probably be dropping it almost instantly in our Pip Talk chat once we have the video recorded, or like first thing that morning. And then we won't drop it on IML TV or anywhere else until our IML TV session. So guys, make sure you're plugged into our Pip Talk channel so you guys can take full advantage of this right when we get it. So guys, with that being said, we love and appreciate you guys so much. Please take this as seriously as we are when it comes to making this content, because trust me, at the end of the day, if you implement this, you're going to see tremendous changes in your Forex trading and in the psychology of how you even look at the markets. And it's time for you to maximize your results and get what you want out of the Forex markets. So let's go get it.